It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the Boston Pride NWHL / PHF General Manager, Danielle Larouco. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Brandon. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to get into professional hockey?
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, who wouldn't, right? I've been playing hockey since I was 4 years old and played through college at Brown University and worked in the sporting industry after graduating from Brown. So it was when the opportunity arose, it was kind of a no-brainer. So easy pick.
What was your coaching experience as the assistant coach at your alma mater, Brown, like?
Oh, it was excellent. I mean, when I graduated in Brown 97, shortly thereafter getting a job, I then went to train for the 98 Olympics in Lake Placid. And after getting one of the last few cut there, we kind of still had the drive to still be involved in sports. So my former coach, Digit Murphy, who's now the president of the T6, she was there and had a great experience with her as a player. And so she brought me on to coach there, which was challenging at the same time because I had played with some of the players, and now it was kind of changing from being their captain to now being the assistant coach. But we had a great team, great. I was very familiar territory for me and was aware of, the team's successes. So we had a good run. We had a few wins in there too. So.
What was your time like as the president of the South Shore Eagles?
Yeah, so after I got married and had kids, much like many volunteer hockey coaches and former players, your kids start playing and you want to give back, and you think, how can I do that? So, silly me went to a board meeting and said, all right, well, I've played, I've coached a little bit, so I'm more than willing to help out. And after a year, I think that turned into sounds like you want to be the president. So, I always like to, give back to wherever I can and kind of infuse sort of my experiences and what I've done both professionally and as a player. So I went on to be the president of that league, which is a town league in Rockland and Abington area here. And we went on to grow the program and continue to infuse kids in a grassroots program at the younger levels with like learn to play programs and partner with the Bruins to do one of the first Little Bruins events, ironically with the same manager who is at the Bruins now that I'm dealing with being with the Pride. So it's kind of funny how things kind of come full circle, but yeah, great program still exists. Kind of, handed it over. My son still actually plays. He's a U14 age now. So you always got to remember where you came from. And actually I played for the Eagles when I was growing up too, one of the first girls to play in the boys program. So it's hard to it's easy just to kind of go back to where you're from and to want to give back was pretty much the primary goal there. So
what was your time like with the Bay South as the director?
Yeah, so the Bay State Hockey League is my so I own that league with one of my partners. So we currently 2018 we started, and we formed the league as primarily a U6 and a U8 town league in the fall winter season, and it was primarily and still continues to be a big proponent and follower of the ADM model. So we use the smaller 4x3 nets. We use the divider boards for half ice. So it's truly, following the ADM model. So we have that part of it. We do skills, development skills. We have the Bay State Breeze Selects, which is a tournament team that we do over the spring, summer. And so we just continue to grow every year. We have tournaments that we do. We're doing a Candy Cane Classic tournament coming up in December at the Bog in Kingston. So that's one of my many jobs that I still have in the hockey world. But again, it's just great to be able to give back and to help educate coaches and continue to inspire players to be their best and to have fun. Our motto at Bay State Hockey is for the love of the game, and we wouldn't be doing this, and I certainly wouldn't be doing this if I didn't love it. So just a lot of passion for the sport. So that's kind of how that baby was born.
What's it like balancing, obviously working with the Bay State and also being the general manager now for the Boston Pride?
So it's kind of like a juggling act. I've always been very, detail oriented and very driven in setting expectations and goals. So, with the Pride added onto it, sure, it's a lot, but it's great that I get to take different experiences that I've had in my past and in my current roles. And even when I was working with Reebok for 13 years, to be able to take learnings and take best practices and apply them to different parts of my job. So, just as simple as yesterday, for the Pride, working with one of the players to get apparel and stuff. And, I knew of designs and I knew of different, ways to go about things from my Reebok days, but also having run a league and a program, knowing, okay, here's local vendors we can source. Especially in this time where, COVID, things are a little backed up still, we can find a way to get things done. So definitely take learnings from all different areas. When I was first approached about the Pride from Colleen Coyne, again, talking about full circle, Colleen and I used to play hockey together way back in the day before we played against each other in college. Although we had not really spoken or seen each other much, but it just kind of goes back to like, all right, yeah, like she was cool. I liked her, it was, easy to kind of go back to, what you're familiar with and so forth. So it's been a learning curve for sure with the Pride, and definitely being on the professional end of things is one thing that is new to me, from a social media aspect to, now I, have a call with ESPN in a half an hour, like, definitely things are a little different from the youth perspective and the high school perspective, and even college a bit, but it's good. I'm balancing it. Sometimes I'm, got a few balls in the air. Sometimes I can breathe a little bit, but again, like I said, if I have a really good supportive network at home with my kids and my husband. So between coaching them, driving them to their sports, working hockey all day, going to practices, going to Pride practices, it's a 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. hockey life I have going on 7 days a week. So
what was it like the first time you joined the Boston Pride as their new general manager?
So actually, so the first time I really got to meet everybody, or a few of the players anyway, was when we did our media day roster announcement back, a couple months ago, I think, was it July? So that was interesting because here I was having to make a statement about the team and introduce some players who I had never met before. And the former president and general manager of the Pride were very well respected and did great things for the organization, and have since moved on to amazing roles within the NHL and the AHL. So, I knew I had big shoes to fill, and it was an honor, obviously, to be able to step into this position. But yeah, that was a little bit nerve wracking and a little bit uncomfortable, just because I hadn't met many of the players or even the coaches. I think Johnny McGinnis, it was the first time I met him. Paul I had talked to once or twice, Colleen a few times, but they're a great group of the staff is great and the players are great. So we pretty quickly got acclimated and got going into figuring out the who's who and so forth. So yeah.
What are some of your roles and responsibility as the new general manager for the Boston Pride?
Yeah, so I mean, primarily my main focus obviously is to optimize team performance, right? So building a team. When I came in, the team was primarily, most of the players were signed. There was a few stragglers, and then in the draft picks were already chosen at that time. So kind of came in on the tail end of that. So primarily it was to and we're lacking an equipment manager. We just hired somebody, but so kind of learning on the fly a lot of things, how the day-to-day operations work, how what do we need for home games, what is that process like, especially given that the past year was a bubble year. So you couldn't even say, oh, what did you do last year, because we didn't even know what we did last year. And Colleen was not there and she's new. So the two of us, we'd like to say we're on our maiden voyage. As long as we're not in the Titanic, we should be fine. But yeah, so a lot of now it's management of making sure they have all the equipment, they have everything they need for games. We just built out a new locker room at Thayer Arena where we practice. So that was kind of a big deal. Getting all the COVID policies figured out. At the same time, trying to do all this stuff with the Pride and learn. We also had the league changing over from the NWHL to the PHF, which was another major milestone. So lots of meetings, lots of GM calls that I'm on, lots of trying to again learn from other GMs and other programs, other teams, like, hey, how did you guys do this? Or here's what we're doing. So in that aspect, it's been, like I said, a bit of a learning curve, but I go to the practices, I get to see the players in action, which is great. We're practicing 3 times a week now. We've had a few exhibition games, so I get to see how they play together and how the lines kind of come together. So, and remember, it's been quite a bit since the players have played in a game. So I feel much better about it now than probably a month or so ago. I'd say now we're actually into hockey. Before it was more, a lot of in the weeds and figuring things out and day-to-day operations. We do a lot of community work, a lot of, team events we're going to start doing with local communities and stuff like that. So just kind of laying the foundation for how we envision the year to go off ice and on ice at the same time.
What was it like for you, obviously entering the league with the name change of going from the NWHL to now the PHF?
So we were aware that there was going to be a change leading up to it. Obviously, it was very thoughtful of the league and how they went about it, and knowing also that the league was going to be procuring a long-term, or I don't know how long-term, but partnership with ESPN Plus. This was the changing of the name kind of had to precede that. So, the NWHL has been a longstanding naming convention, and the whole thought process is to raise the W, right? So to kind of be able to just focus on the player's skills and be able to be inclusive at the same time. So, at the end of the day, it was, I think it's a pretty positive thing for the league, probably a bit in advance of where maybe other programs and other leagues, professional leagues are going with it. But Ty is a great, she's the commissioner. She's done a great job, and they've really put a lot of thought into it. And, at the end of the day, the players, they just want to get on the ice and play hockey. So, I mean, that's as great as the naming convention has changed and the reasoning behind it has changed and elevated. Our focus is to put the best product on the ice that we can. And that's kind of the direction that, we're heading in now with the intensity that we're going full speed ahead. So.
What is it like, obviously, with this previous week announcing that y'all will be on ESPN Plus? What is that feeling like for you?
Yeah, it's amazing, right? So it's, pardon me, again, a long time, in works, and I say long time because it probably feels like forever for Ty and the team up there at the PHF to land this deal with ESPN Plus. Obviously with ESPN getting the NHL games and various college games, you literally can watch hours of hockey on a given day. It's truly amazing. It's great for the sport just to get new viewership across the hockey platform, but also across the other sports that are on ESPN. So the players are psyched. It's going to change a lot. We're going to have, every game across the league is going to be streamed on ESPN Plus. We're going to have interviews in between periods. We'll have, all that fun stuff. So I think it's an exciting time for sure. The players are really excited. Little extra pressure, maybe being on TV. If Paul Maher's got to, maybe comb his hair a little bit better, and more eyes are on us, and that's just great for the growth of women's hockey across the board at all levels, and gives the younger kids somebody to look up to and see. So big deal, and can't wait to kind of get it going. So it'll be exciting.
What is the culture like that you have helped already built?
Yeah, so when I came into the Pride, one of the questions I had asked I did one-on-one interviews with all the players and the staff, and one of the questions I asked was just that: what is it like? What am I getting myself into, right? And I, myself and Paul, which I was very pleased with, are very much on the same page with. We want to have the best people on the team that perhaps will be able to play to the highest level of their ability, right? So the culture that has been at the Pride for quite some time has been just that of good people, good players. Obviously Boston being a highly competitive sports city, it is definitely has high expectations, and I very much do myself for the team and the players. But there's great leadership with our captains that we have, and Jillian Dempsey, who's been in the league since the inception, and Kaylee Fratkin, who's the defender of the year. And even like below them, there's several others that you can tell are just ready to step up and are being groomed. So I'm a firm believer that it starts from the top down, and the girls they have fun at practice, they work hard, they come out and they compete hard. They leave everything on the ice, and it's going to be a fun year. There's a lot of talent in that locker room, but more so I think that there is some really quality role models there as well.
What is it like to obviously see your role models like Kaylee Fratkin and Julian Dempsey lead the team?
Yeah, like I said, those guys are great. It's on and off the ice. Like they've been around, they're experienced. You can see the difference in play of Fratty or Demps in a game, the patience they have with the puck, how they read the situations, just having been in different experiences, having been in big games, compared to some of maybe the younger players who are fresh out of college. So they lead by example, for sure. Demps is there, God knows how many hours before a game and before practices, warming up, stretching out, getting in, full on workouts, last one to leave the ice. The work ethic is just top notch, and she continues to love it. And you can just, and smiles, like it's really a pleasure to show up to a 9 o'clock practice or 9:30 practice. I mean, these players work full-time jobs, in real jobs. So to work all day and then to want to show up to the rink and want to really be better every single time they step on the ice is definitely the attitude we have, and definitely the way that our captains carry themselves, and it just kind of just trickles right through to the whole team. So they're big parts of the team.
What was it like, obviously, getting to sign a few PWHPA players to obviously join the PHF?
I mean, it's always great. Like at the end of the day, doesn't really matter what league they played in. I mean, we have Evelina Rosselli, who's a Swiss Olympian, who we signed in our international draft. So that's great from the naming convention. Katie Burt that came over, she was with the Pride prior to the PWHPA, but like I said before, it's a great league that the PHF has established, and we just continue to try to find the best players and strive to make it the best product possible.
Of course, with the new name change from the PHF, do you foresee other teams joining the league besides the 6 of y'all?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's something that the league definitely has got a ton of inquiry. The more eyes on the sport is better, of course. And there's definitely discussions of teams in Canada looking to join. Seattle's already got a Facebook page, I think, trying to get a women's team out there. So Chicago, a few of the areas are definitely interested. And I can't totally speak from where the league stands with that. But I think the model that they have set up this past year, where it's gone from a wholly owned subsidiary to independently owned. Each team is now independently owned with local ownership. So that model is probably a more sustainable model, and something that you'll see definitely expanding, next year at the earliest, and probably to come. But again, and there's definitely a lot of players out there, and there's teams to be filled. But I think the PHF wants to grow at a rate that's healthy, and also that makes sense, big picture for both, from a Canada and Canadian and US territories, but also internationally. So yeah, I would say the future is bright on that front.
What was it like seeing your new team obviously win the Isobel Cup, and what is it going to feel like to obviously get to go yourself back to the Isobel Cup?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously amazing what they went through last year, and having such a shortened season, and then having it moved, the bubble getting canceled, and then them able to actually get in the game. So team just had they got their rings, so they had a reveal with the rings, and had a great coming together from the players that were on the team then. So that was great. They had their summer worth of bringing the cup around and touring and showing it off, and definitely much deserved. But as we turn this corner into the past week or so, it's a new season. It's season 7, and we're kind of putting last year behind us and moving forward with it. So yeah, I'm sure everybody will be gunning for us, right? Like, why wouldn't you? We've had some great pickups, and I mean, I know I want a ring, so yeah, we're definitely gunning for it. But again, just putting our best foot forward, getting the team to gel, working through those kinks, working, getting the rust off, getting into the routine of practicing, into the routine of games. So, we have one more exhibition game coming up against the Toronto Six this Saturday down in Falmouth. So that'll complete our pregame schedule, and then we'll kick off November 6th with the home opener. So looking forward to it.
Of course, as the new general manager, what is that going to feel like to obviously have your home opener at home and get prepared for obviously the season as general manager?
Yeah, so we have some fun stuff planned for the day for sure. We'll be, raising the banner. We've got some other little things planned. So it'll be great to have people back at Warrior and in a capacity that allows, most amount of fans as we can to celebrate with us. And it's exciting. I get amped up when I, hear the music and, the anthem plays, and it's, it'll probably go by quickly, but at the same time, I know it's a long season too. So it'll be great for the players, I'm sure, to be back in their home rink and to feel all those feels again. So we're looking forward to it definitely. In a matchup against Minnesota too, nonetheless. So we're coming out guns a-blazing already.
What advice would you give future general managers looking to get into professional sports?
Just do you, and just I have a background in sports management and finance, and played sports and was in the sporting industry. So I wouldn't have never thought that a general manager position was something even possible. Whether it be women's professional sports or men's professional sports. But I think if you're just if you're doing what you love, it's not that much of a job. And just always keep grinding, keep making those connections, keep working at things. And it's truly an amazing opportunity. And I'm really excited to have this role and to kind of grow with the Pride and in the PHF and in women's hockey in general. So I'm really honored and continue to do my best to do my part.
That's wonderful. Where can my listeners find you at on social media along with the Boston Pride app?
So the Boston Pride is on under the Boston Pride at Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. I'm the same, Danielle, I think it's at Danielle Larouco on Instagram. Twitter, I think mine is dsolo14, although I'm not very active on social media as many of the others. But the Pride website also, we just converted over. So it's pride.premierhockeyfederation.com. You can get tickets, see our schedule. The new merchandise is up. So lots of good stuff you can find there. So
thank you again, Danielle Larouco, for your interview, and best of luck in your future as you begin your career as the Boston Pride's new general manager.
Thanks so much, Brandon. Take care, and appreciate all you do for the sport. Thank you.
Thank you. You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Get to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Danielle Larouco, for your interview, and best of luck in your future with the Boston Pride.
Thank you.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.